Welcome to an aerial tour of several ham radio SOTA sites, summits on the air, near Republic, Washington. I'm Chuck, call sign KA7WYR, and this is a virtual tour in Microsoft Flight Simulator 24. First up is Mount Leona W7W FR12, which appears to be a drive-up. So we're going to give you some specific routes and turns to get there. This is based on my research for a planned trip later this summer. So as you saw, we just departed from Ferry County Airport, R49, and we're headed north on Highway 21 towards Mallow. Mallow. Potato. At the Mallow store, we're going to turn right onto St. Peter's Creek Road. You can see that turn there. And we're going to head up St. Peter's Creek Road. We're going to stay on St. Peter's Creek Road, which goes to the right here shortly, and not go left on the North Fork cutoff. So now we're over the South Fork, St. Peter's Creek, and we're going to go follow it for a couple minutes before we take our next turn. As you can see, we're climbing here. Mount Leona is about 77,000 feet, give or take. All right, so one of our big turns is coming up here. And Google Maps might take you another way, USFS Road 215-7040. That probably works too. We're going to stay on St. Peter's Creek a little bit longer, just around the bend. And that turns into NF 2040. We're going to take NF 2040 for a bit here. And you can see it kind of does a horseshoe and starts coming back up towards us, climbing up the mountain. And we're going to stay on 2040 a bit up until it starts to head down into the bowl. We're going to take a left on USFS Road 215-7300. And that's the one that's going to start up that the side of the ridge here that we're following. We're going to follow it all the way up to the ridge line, and then at the ridge line we're going to take a right, and there's a little road up there that just kind of takes the last couple hundred feet up to the summit. So now, as you can see, we've kind of reached the ridge line. We're going to take a right there. You can see pretty clearly that's just straight shot the last couple hundred feet up to the summit of Mount Leona. So there's Leona. You can kind of tell there is what looks like to be a tower and some kind of a communications tower. So you might need if you're operating 2 meters, you might need a filter there. So that's Mount Leona. We're going to continue on now and kind of work our way back towards the airport, but first we're going to hit several peaks on the way. So next up we have two SOTA sites, which are both accessed by the same trail and parking at a place called Old Stage Horse Camp, which makes it a pretty easy hike, or easier for sure, coming up on the backside of it. So first up is Midnight Mountain. That's W7W FR09. It's an 8-pointer. It's about a 1,200-foot hike from the Old Stage Horse Camp, and mostly trail. We're coming up on it here now. Mostly trail, except maybe the last half mile, last 500 feet looks like bushwhack through open terrain. Straight ahead is Copper Butte. That's W7W FR01. That's an 8-pointer. It has a trail that goes all the way to the summit. It's about a 1,600-foot hike from Old State Horse Camp. It's some kind of a alert. I don't know if you can hear that in the background. So overhead, now we're actually going to fly right over the Old Stage Horse Camp parking right there. And that's on Albion Hill Road. So there's a couple miles here. We're going to fly south now from Old Stage Horse Camp on Albion Hill Road. And along the way, we're probably going to see A couple more SOTA sites. I'm not going to call out a lot about them, just kind of mention that they're there. First one is Scar Mountain. That's W7W FR03. It's an 8-pointer, 7,000 feet. Next up on the right, Wapaloosie Mountain. What a great name. W7W FR04. Also an 8-pointer, also about 7,000 feet. And both of those are more considerable hikes, in distance and elevation. We're going to continue down Albion Hill Road until we get to Highway 20 here in a couple minutes, maybe 1 minute more. It's you can see it straight ahead there, and then a couple more sites. We're going to take a right. We're going to bank right, and we'll be heading then west on Highway 20, or overflying Highway 20. Well, maybe now's a good point to mention the prominent one on our right here before we bank. That's Sherman Peak. That's W7W FR05, 7,000 feet. Looks like maybe about 600 feet elevation gain of bushwhack there to get to that one. As we bank right, we're going to come around Albion Hill, which is not a SOTA site. We're going to see Columbia Mountain. Columbia Mountain is W7W FR08. I believe it's a 6-pointer. Yeah, it's there. I think that's Albion Hill. Give it a second. So there's Sherman, very, very obviously on our left now. On the right there is Columbia Mountain. That's the one we were just talking about. W7W FR08. 6781. It's a 3-mile hike. There's trail all the way to the summit. It's about 1,400 feet gain from the trailhead there, kind of near this saddle. So there's a good view of Columbia Mountain on our right. On our left is Mount Washington. That's FR24. It's a 6-pointer, 5,800 feet. The hike there, perhaps a mile and about 700 feet of elevation gain. Some bushwhacking along a kind of a ridge line. But we're going to pass between a couple of SOTA sites. On our right was 4944 Rectifier Mountain. That's W7W FR051. That's a 6-pointer. No trail, but maybe some logging roads and a short, steep bushwhack. On the left there was Murphy Hill, W7W FR065. That's a 4-pointer. Same deal. Maybe some logging roads and a kind of a short, steep bushwhack to that. And all right, so Murphy Hill, a little ways further here, also on the left, just an unnamed peak, 4192. W7W FR134 is its designator. It's 4,200 feet. Looks like logging roads will get you most of the way there within maybe a couple of 100-foot bushwhack to the top there. All right, so we're still following Highway 20. It's gonna come around to the north here in a minute, and we're kind of on our way back towards the airport and back towards the Lake Curlew State Park in a minute. So the town of Republic there is kind of on the other side of that ridge there to our left. And just one more SOTA site we're going to mention here as we're starting our descent and landing back at Ferry County Airport. All right, we're coming up to Republic on our left. We're actually going to take a right here at the little town of Pine Grove and start heading back to the airport, which is right next to the campground. All right, so this last mountain we're going to talk about is on our left here. That's Klondike Mountain. It's W7W FRO 90. It's a 4-pointer. It's 4,100 feet. It looks like Union Ridge Road. We'll get right up to the summit. It's a little unclear though whether it's private land or public land. Probably would want to do some more research there. But that's it is a drive up, or assuming it's not private property. On the left. So that's it for our aerial tour of several SOTA sites around the town of Republic and around Curlew State Park. Hope you've enjoyed this. Check out in the description. I'll put links in to the SOTA website for more information on all these peaks and some additional resources as well. Thanks for watching. We're just going to do our final descent into Ferry County Airport. Thanks again.